Chick-fil-A Bowl is seen here on ESPN just prior to SportsCenter. 14th ranked Virginia Tech and Georgia. You know, the Hokies won 29 straight when scoring first. They had a 14-3 lead. Sean Glennon to Eddie Royal, throws downfield. Little trickeration. Sam Wheeler's behind the defense. Touchdown. So what happened exactly? Watch the Georgia safety. Bites on the fake. And Wheeler runs right by him, making it look easy. That's good for a 53-yard touchdown. Third quarter, after a 51-yard Georgia field goal, Georgia tries onside kick. Bulldogs recover. So they're in the game, right? Trying to make something out of nothing here with 6 minutes left in the third. Matthew Stafford to Martrez Milner. Touchdown. Here come the Dogs. It's 21-13 to the fourth now. Here's Glennon on the scramble. Intercepted by Tony Taylor. So here's the ensuing Georgia possession. Stafford, little play action. Oh, I bought that fake. Hits Milner down the sideline. Able to get down to the one. Watch it again. The play action. Very underrated. Boy, he really sold it. Ball on the hip. Georgia driving again. Third and goal from the four. Stafford to Greg Lumpkin. Touchdown. Georgia converts the two-point conversion. Tied at 21. Here's Glennon. Hit from behind. Quentin Moses falls on the ball, recovers the fumble. Georgia's got the ball again. That would lead to a field goal and a 24-21 Georgia lead. Glennon's pass tipped. Intercepted by Taylor again. Returns it to the one. What is going on? Fourth and goal. Bulldogs. Brandon Sutherland rushes in the end zone for the touchdown. Georgia, 28 unanswered points. They hang on to win.
Well, what a happy occasion as the Georgia Bulldog players raise the trophy for this year's Chick-fil-A Bowl and win the championship. With 28 unanswered points, they win it 31-24 over Virginia Tech. I went back and pulled out the first half stats. Georgia had 2 first downs with 29 yards rushing and passing. They had 18 yards. That was bleak at best. To come back and do what they did, it just unfathomable.
Yeah, it looked like it was over. And then they go down, they get a field goal to go 21-6, and you still think against that defense, boy, it's going to be tough. And then Mark Richt made an excellent call. They'd studied this and game planned it, and Mims does a perfect job dragging the ball. And this, with the recovery, they go down. Martrez Milner scores to make it 21-13. An excellent play call. Remember, Mike Bobo now the play caller for Georgia. A little counter play, which is beautifully designed, and then Sutherland takes it in. And Ron, you go back to that call by Mark Richt. He talks about becoming a better head coach. He gave up play calling. That's the beginning of it. What a great call on that onside kick.
Well, and plus the fact Mims came in and he does not get a lot of action. The youngster not only kicked an absolutely perfect onside kick, if you could see, Grimm was about to recover the ball for Virginia Tech, and he reached ahead. It had gone the distance it needed to go. He reached out, grabbed it, made the recovery, and he didn't realize it at the time. He was securing victory when he did that.
Yeah, coaches make gutsy calls, but execution is what makes them good gutsy calls. It was perfectly executed.
Well, let's also hand out some praise to the defense for the Georgia Bulldogs, because they stiffened in the second half to the point where Virginia Tech just couldn't get anything done.
Well, and it's all year long. Tony Taylor, he's the MVP of the season for Georgia, and he showed why. An excellent block there by Oliver, who came on a blitz and saw it, and then late in the game, after a very difficult pass interference call, Ellis comes up with a key interception. Remember, he had been called for interference just a few plays before, so he makes up for it big time.
By the way, we've just been handed the MVPs, outstanding players. On offense is Stafford, Taylor for Georgia on defense. But Stafford, just a couple of moments ago, took time out down on the sideline to visit with our doctor, Jerry Punch. Here's reaction to that come-from-behind win tonight.
With true freshman quarterback Matthew Stafford. And Matthew, got to ask you, what was the difference in this football team between the first and the second half?
You know, we've been through a lot of adversity this year, and we know what it's like to play from behind. And these seniors came out here and led us in the second half and made plays, and our defense shut them out, which is awesome. Helped us out a bunch.
In terms of your maturity as a quarterback, it seems like in the second half you just started feeling a little more comfortable in what you were trying to do.
Yeah, I just kind of got a better grasp on what they were going to give us and what we were trying to do against it. And Coach Bobo did a great job of calling plays all night. And guys made plays for me and made me look pretty good, so it was nice. I
was going to ask you how you would evaluate your new offensive coordinator in his first bowl game.
He's pulling out all the stops. It was good. He did a great job, kept us in a rhythm that second half, and never let us get complacent. Kept pushing it every time we got a turnover. It was great.
What does this win now do for you heading into 2007?
That's great for us. Momentum is going to be huge for us now, and we're just excited about next year. But more excited about sending these seniors out on a good note.
Hey, congratulations on a great effort, and congratulations on a big win tonight.
Thank you very much.
I want to remind you of one thing that happened in the ball game. Just before halftime, there were a lot of people that thought Mark Richt let the clock unnecessarily run out. Mark Richt sent a message here. Even though there was some scattered boos, he was saying, let's go to the locker room, calm down, talk to the freshman quarterback, and boy, was he ever right. He gets a win. Your closing thoughts?
Well, and you got to think Mike Bobo. Listen, it was a big deal for Mark Richt to hand over the reins for play calling to Mike Bobo. First time in 13 years he hasn't called plays the last game of the season, this game. But he still has to coach the quarterbacks. And I think not only did he call a great game, he got that young man settled down at halftime, and it was just a different quarterback between the first half when he was thrown into coverage and the second half when he was waiting for his second and third guy to come open. And now you start to see why they knew Matthew Stafford was the right guy for the job.
Yep, no question. 31-24, the final score. Tony Taylor being hoisted in the air by his teammates. He is the MVP defensively of this ball game, and the Bulldogs come from behind to win.